Hey everybody, it's Kiwikatgamer and Star Wars! Now, this video is admittedly extremely late. I meant to do this like a bunch of months ago, but ran into a bunch of technical difficulties, and now I'm gonna talk about it now though, so don't worry about it. Now, it's no secret that Star Wars is a very well-known and beloved franchise, capturing fans almost the moment it first came to be. Almost everyone knows it, or knows about it, and those who know about it have even come to form opinions about it. You know, it might be a very popular opinion, but I really like the prequels as much, if not more, than the original.
Kill him.
About him. Kill him. Kill him. Burn him with Jar Jar Binks and worse things than that. But that's not the point of this video. As I was saying, from a franchise so successful, it almost goes without saying that you'll get fan creations. Sure, there are good ones and bad ones, and they're kind of mixed together. But there's always two kinds. You know what I'm talking about. Undertale has it. Five Nights at Freddy's has it. Friggin' Wings of Fire has it. And so, of course, that means that Star Wars has to have it. And probably the thing I am most thankful is not canon is Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. But Kiwi, why don't you make a video on Star Wars The Force Unleashed 1 first? Well, I have a very good answer for that. Because I didn't buy that one on Steam for $15. I didn't buy it at all. The game has about, like, 4 or 5 levels, if you count the Yoda place. Each one consists of platforming parts, if you could call it that, beat-em-up parts, if you could call them that, and sometimes button-mashy boss fights. And yes, you may call them that. There are also these really dumb holocrons that you can collect, and they're kind of like an optional thing that you can get and they'll, like, make your lightsabers change color, and they pretty much absolutely do nothing, so I don't know why I added them to this segment, but I added them anyway. And that's all. That's the objective. Just get to the end of the place, and there you go. I'm starting with these first, because this one is way easier. For starters, nothing in this game feels as powerful as it should, except for when things attack you. For example, look how long it takes to kill things with a lightsaber. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but shouldn't lightsabers be some sort of ultra-powerful, unique weapon? Now, I understand, you know, like, oh man, if it was an insta-kill, then the game wouldn't even be challenging. It'd just be like, you go, oh no, watch out, insta-kill, right? But at least make it feel like I'm holding something that's powerful and unique, and the weapon of the Jedi, which are like the best fighters in all of the Star Wars universe. But I mean, at some of the times, the lightsaber functions just about as effectively, if not worse, than a normal gun would in some of these scenarios. Let me give you an example, right? In good Star Wars games, or at least games that I like Star Wars Jedi Knight Academy. Look at this. The lightsaber is hitting them, and like, they don't fall over or anything, but you feel the power. It's like, you can see the weight behind it, and you can feel that you're doing damage to them. Or even in games like Star Wars Battlefront, you know, you can't really, like, see that you're cutting through them or anything, because, you know, it's a E-rated game, but, like, they get knocked over, and there's weight behind it, and, and if you're on the receiving end of the lightsaber, then it hits you, and you know you've taken damage. But if you don't like using lightsabers in this game, that's fine. Because they made force powers way too overpowered and way too usable in any scenario, to the point you don't even have to use a lightsaber. I mean, like, 80% of the enemies in this game can just be disposed by throwing them like a paper ball at a trash can. Yeah. Dang it. Actually, you know what? No, I was lying. The force powers aren't even that overpowered. Sure, you can grab people like stormtroopers, but even then, if you're using your grab move, sometimes they'll still miraculously live, even though you slammed them into a wall 50 times. Oh, and for the other 20% of people that you can't kill with your force powers or your lightsabers, you can just grab them and RKO them out of nowhere.
And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! From out of nowhere!
I also don't like any of the button mashing parts, and there are so many of them. And they don't do anything in the game except for slow down the pace of battles and slow down the pace of a boss fight. Listen, all I want to know is who keeps sending letters to the game designers saying things like, "Dear game designer, I really love QuickTime events and bosses where you just have to button mash. It really doesn't get old after the first time of doing that, or the 99th time. I really wish you could just put this in all of your games, or I'll be really sad, and the whole world will love it too." You know, I think that if within the future, button mashing will be all that video games are. Sincerely, Tim Blombo. Wait, Tim Blombo? Well, that explains it. And still on the topic of things I don't like about this game, there are 3 parts of this game, 3 different parts, one of which is a boss fight, where you are falling and have little to no control of your own movements, but still have to dodge things. Why? Why not just make it so those things where you can just walk forward and dodge those things, or stay on solid ground and fight the boss, but have the world moving next to you, or, better yet, don't make really dumb ideas for levels. That's probably a better one anyway. Now, what confuses me most is Star Wars The Force Unleashed 1 didn't have these problems, or at least from the looks of it. Again, I never played the first one, so I don't really know what actually lies in the disc of that game, but from what I've seen, it doesn't really have these problems. I mean, things have a health bar so you can actually see how much damage you did to them. You know, they react to the damage, the force, like the lightsaber's actually powerful, and I didn't see any falling sections, and yeah, there was kind of some button mashing parts, but so why did they get rid of all those good things and then replace them with this? The world may never know. Nope, get nothing. I really don't like this game. It was just so clunky, slow, long, cheap, purposely time-wasting that I didn't really feel like anything this game does or has justifies it. Alright, that was a little mean. I'll give it this. It's functional, in the sense that it turns on when I click the icon. Look. See, look. Watch. See? It did a thing. See? Kiwicat guarantee. That being said, it did glitch. The game did freeze, or endlessly repeat a cutscene on several occasions. You know, I just realized this, but you know you're doing bad when Bionicles is doing better than you. Just shameful, honestly. Spoilers. Duh. And before I begin, I'd just like to say that I really don't think I was missing that much from not playing Star Wars The Force Unleashed 1. You know, story-wise. I really don't think I was missing that much. So anyway, once upon a time, Darth Vader comes out from his ship and he goes to Kamino, to a cloning facility, where he sees a Jedi in a pit. And he's like, "Hey, are you ready for your training, dude?" And he's like, "Yes, master." And then, so he comes out and he's like, "Alright, first of all, you're gonna have to kill your girlfriend." And he's like, "Oh, no, I can't do that." He's like, "Just kidding, it was a robot. But, you know, you failed the test anyway because it was a robot." It's like, "I'll kill you, Darth Vader." And then he jumps out of a window and does a falling section. And then he lands and then he kills a bunch more guys and then pretty much just ruins Darth Vader's entire place. Which is really inconsiderate of him now that I think about it. Anyway, goes and he starts flying to a place to go rescue his master from Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 1. He gets down there, and this guy comes and he's like, "Yes, welcome to my place. Are you Darth Vader?" And then the guy's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, great. What is my favorite color then?" And then he's like, "Purple." He's like, "You are wrong. You are a liar. Guards, kill him." And then, and then these robot things come out, and then he's like, "Nope." When he shoots the rockets back at him and kills him. Anyway, he keeps going around, and then this guy is like, my place is super expensive. That doesn't mean I won't destroy it. And he starts blowing up his own place, which is really dumb of him, now that I start thinking about it. But yeah, he starts blowing up his own place, and then, there's a part where you have to jump on a trolley. I think I already talked about this before. You have to jump on this trolley, and then, he's shooting the trolley, but that doesn't matter. So anyway, you go in, the guy rescues his master, and then when he's rescuing his master, the guy at the top is like, "Release the grog!" And then, this hideous monster comes out. I was like, "It's me, evil, hideous monster! Yay!" And then, the Star Killer's like, "Oh man, what is that gross thing?" And then he's like, "Hey, don't call my, bones hideous. Look at the space between my bones. How do I even function? I don't have muscles. Yay!" And then, he fights him, and, he fights him, and he's fighting a thing, and, he goes over, and he's like, and the monster, he's like stabbing, he pushes the monster down a cliff, and then the evil monster guy comes back up, he's like, "Ah!" And the Duke is like, "Well, looks like you almost killed me." "Well, you won't actually this time." And then the monster's like, "I'm gonna grab you," and then he eats him, and then the Star Killer's trainer is like, "All's well that ends well." And then the monster's like, "You're coming with me," and then it grabs him, and then Star Killer's like, "No!" And then he jumps down the cliff and follows the monster down there. And he's like, "Yeah," and he's following him down, and he's like, "Don't worry, guys, you can't dodge my moves because this is a falling section." And he hits him, and he's like, "No!" But anyway, he does kill him because that's canon to the story. And then the monster falls down into space and dies. That didn't actually happen. But anyway, so they're on a ship, and then suddenly Starkiller's like, "We have to go save my girlfriend." And then the leader's like, "No, we shouldn't do that, actually." He's like, "No, we have to. It's my destiny." And then he's like, "Listen, I'm the only good character in this game. If you keep being obnoxious like this, then you can just go and talk to Yoda." And then he's like, "Fine, I will." So then he goes and jumps in a little thing, and he goes and talks to Yoda. And then Yoda's like, "I'm in this game for 2 seconds." And then Starkiller's like, "Wow." And then he walks through a thing, and then he just walks through the cave, the same cave that Luke went through, and then he's like, "Wow, look at all the me's trying to grab me. That's gross. Don't touch me." And then Darth Vader's like, and then his girlfriend is like, "Hey, it's me. I'm a dream, though." And he's like, "No!" And then he leaves, and Yoda's like, "Did you see what you need to see?" And then Starkiller's like, "Yeah." And then he goes on a ship, and then there's evil General Grievous things, and then Darth Vader's like, "Hey, Boba Fett, you're in this game for 2 seconds." And Boba Fett's like, "Yeah, I'm in the game, mate. What do you need me to do, mate?" And then he's like, "Hey, I need you to go take Starkiller's girlfriend, and I need you to, like, put her somewhere. And also kill Starkiller." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, mate. Go do that right now, mate." And then, so he's like, okay. So, Starkiller gets on the base, and then he's in a ship, and then the general guy's like, "So what did you talk with Yoda about?" And then Starkiller's like, "Don't even worry about it, dude." And so then suddenly they get a thing, and they're killing more guys, and then he's running around the ship, and the ship's like breaking because they're under attack. And then he goes and sees both of them. Both's like, "I'm stealing your girl, mate. Can't kill me. I'm in the game for 2 seconds, mate." And then he just leaves, and then Starkiller's like, "No, I'll save my girlfriend." So then he pretty much just runs around the rest of the ship, and it's still being attacked by guys. And then he runs back to the general, which doesn't make sense. He walked into the ship, met the general General went one way, Starkiller went the other way, then Starkiller went around the entire ship instead of just backtracking and going straight to the General. That doesn't make sense, but that's not part of the story. I mean, it is, but anyway. So then he's like, General, we have to go back to Camino, because that's where my girlfriend is. And then the General's like, are you an idiot? That's the headquarters of Darth Vader, and this is the entire Rebel fleet. Are you an idiot? And he's like, no, we have to save my girlfriend. And he's like, okay, whatever you say, dude. So he's like, but not before another falling section. So then there's another falling section. He goes back to Camino, and then he goes on. There's more of every single enemy. But he's climbing up a thing, going to Darth Vader, and then there's this elevator putt that I got stuck on, and it just repeated the same cutscene forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But anyway, he gets to the top of the thing, and then that's where you fight Darth Vader. Not yet, though, because you go through a wall, and then you see all the other clone U's, and you're like, whoa, no way. And then you're going, and then Darth Vader, and then, like, you start hearing visions. Like, you're just a thing. You're not even a real human. Blah. And then you're like, no, I'm a real person. Then Darth Vader comes out of the shadows. He's like, hi, bud. And you're like, no. And you slap him, and then you pretty much, there's no reason for that. It's a useless thing that just shows up, and there's no use for it. Another thing that's just purposely wasting my time. Anyway, so you actually fight Darth Vader, and it's pretty fun. That's like the only boss fight where you actually feel like you're doing damage to somebody. So I'll give it that. That's a good boss fight. Until you get to after that, because after you get him to a certain number of certain health, then he's like, all right then. I actually beat you even though I'm at 0 health right now. And then you're like, oh no, I lose. And he's like, but I have my trump card. And he pulls out, he shows you your girlfriend, and he's like force choking her, and he's like, listen, you do my bidding or else she dies. If I want a bologna sandwich, you better cut the crust off. If I want toast, you better not make it black or I'll kill her. If I want the bread, then you better cut the crust off or I'll kill her. If you want bologna, well, then you better give it to me instead, because I like bologna. And then the girl's like, I'll kill you. And then she tries to slice Darth Vader, and he's like, what did I just tell you? And then he throws her into a wall, and then she dies. And he's like, whoops. And then Starkiller's like, now I have nothing holding me back. And then he fights him, and he's like, and then there's a boss fight where the end of the boss fight is you have to mash the Y button. And then you get to the end of the thing, and then it gives you a choice. You see, the General runs up and he's like, hey, whoa, don't kill him. Listen, we gotta leave him alive because we have to get information from him. And Starkiller's like, he's gonna haunt me in my dreams. And then he's like, yeah, but we can't get information with him if he's dead. And then Starkiller's like, I want to. And then it gives you the choice. Now I'm sure you're thinking, oh man, this is cool. This is like Undertale, except Star Wars, right? No, it's wrong. Because both the options are stupid. Okay, so you can either save, either let him live. And this is what happens. So, you let him live, and then he's like, okay, Darth Vader, I'll let you live. Phew. Pulls the lightsabers back. And then Darth Vader's like, oh man, guys, I'm the most powerful Sith in the game. But that's okay. I'll just let you capture me. Totally against my character, guys. I'm so strong that I could, like, choke every one of you in the room, but that's okay. I don't even need my power. And then you go over to your girlfriend, and then your robot is like, hey, your girlfriend is alive. Yeah, she lived. She lived being thrown off of a building and smashing into the ground. But it's okay. She lived. So thanks for that, game. Anyway, but if you're like me and you're like, hey, I want to kill Darth Vader because, you know, there has to be something good coming from this game. And So you're like, I'm gonna kill Darth Vader. Wah! And then you get stabbed in the back by your own lightsaber, and then everyone around you just watches this happen, and then gets killed themselves. And then I'm just like, what? And then there's some like robed guy, and he's like, I'm the one who did it. Darth Vader's like, you did well, my apprentice. And then he pulls off the hood and it's you. Pulitzer. Give him the Pulitzer Prize. Everybody, give him the Pulitzer Prize. Give him Kids' Choice Award, Nickelodeon. Give him every single award. That was such a great thing. Like I said before, this game feels like a fan fiction with somebody's original character that they put their character through cool surroundings with noticeable characters. But it doesn't feel Star Warsy enough for me. On top of that, it feels like a bunch of people who liked the fan fiction made a game about it, but didn't really know how to make a game. The game is playable, so I can't just take it to a 0 out of 10, because, you know, it's certainly not as good to me as games like Flying Dragon or Mystery Dungeon. So I gotta give this game a 5. I will admit, the game is playable, but that would only make it a 3. But there were a few moments where I kind of did enjoy the game. Most of that enjoyment came from not using my lightsaber and just flinging people around or RKOing them. But I'm sure this game will take whatever praise it can get. Anyway, I think that's the end of this video. Thanks for stopping by and watching this. And what do you think? Do you own this game and think that I am wrong? Do you hate me for liking the prequels? Do you think I look dumb? Leave it all in the comments, and I will see you next time. Alright, that's it. Bye!